Every day, we navigate tension between the biological pull of rest and the physical demands of living. Chores pile up, but the pillows are soft. Let's look at Luna. She's a young bunny who has built an entire routine around minimizing her own exertion. Her daily process is incredibly predictable. She will start a required task, say gathering a small pile of leaves, but right around the 50% mark, the effort begins to register. She stops, turns around, and goes right back to her mattress. This diagram illustrates what we call the immediate gratification trap. Notice how the dopamine levels behave here. The brain actually rewards the choice to stop working. When Luna drops a task and returns to a resting state, her internal reward system spikes immediately. Optimizing for that quick, comfortable feeling carries a structural cost. Because the physical demands of the world do not disappear when you close your eyes, prioritizing rest ensures a compounding backlog of unresolved external pressure. That pressure usually takes the form of a hard external deadline. In Luna's world, that event is the Great Carrot Festival. This requires proactive preparation. To successfully execute the festival, every community member must harvest crops, they must build booths, and string up decorations. Luna's habit of abandoning tasks exactly halfway through is now on a direct collision course with the calendar. The festival opens on a specific morning, whether her personal chores are done or not. What happens when an immovable communal requirement meets an individual who absolutely refuses to exert effort? Communal deadlines act as forced audits of our daily choices. They strip away the illusion that we can defer work indefinitely, exposing the mathematical impossibility of a comfort-only lifestyle. When the morning of the festival arrives, the surrounding environment is moving at maximum capacity. Dozens of woodland animals are rushing in a unified direction, carrying banners and completing the final preparations. Tucked away from all of this, Luna is asleep. She has fully surrendered to her established behavioral loop, prioritizing the warmth of her blankets over the noise outside. Look at this timeline graph tracking the day's events. The top curve shows the festival reaching peak efficiency and eventually winding down over a 12-hour span. The flat line at the bottom is Luna's activity metric, showing zero engagement while the day entirely passes her by. By the time she finally wakes up, she expects the usual routine, to wander outside and enjoy the festivities. She anticipates the reward without having paid the required cost of participation. Systemic inaction operates on strict logic. Missing out on the group's milestones is a guaranteed mathematical certainty resulting from zero input. When Luna reaches the grounds, the physical reality is stark. The booths are empty, the banners are sagging, and the space is completely devoid of activity or reward. She is experiencing the participation deficit. The principle is simple. A lack of personal input guarantees a total lack of communal output. Initially, she is confused by the silence, but as she walks past the empty stalls, that confusion settles into a heavy realization of profound isolation. This weighted scale maps the logic of her realization. The short-term metric of physical comfort starts high, but it is quickly outweighed by an exponentially rising metric of total isolation. Her choice to stay in bed directly manufactured her separation from the group. A localized habit of laziness produces a compounding social penalty. By continuously avoiding shared labor, you guarantee your own isolation from the community. The following morning presents the exact same choice. Luna is in her bed, surrounded by the familiar, tempting environment. But this time, she overrides the instinct to stay put. She physically forces herself out of a resting state and into a state of action. Moving out into the neighborhood, she adopts a completely new strategy. Instead of avoiding halfway done tasks, she actively scans for them, looking for projects her friends are struggling to finish. When Luna applies physical labor, represented by this central proactive effort node, it acts as a catalyst. Her assistance multiplies the output of surrounding community nodes. This triggers a positive feedback loop, as outer nodes send gratitude back to the center, stabilizing the behavioral system. Taking active responsibility requires physical effort, but it earns your place, generating a long-term fulfillment that temporary comfort cannot provide.